Thanks, Josh.
He does. Online.
Josh, midnight at the Oasis.
All right. First thing we have tonight is a financial update. So instead of making fun of me, why don't you get your shit ready, Josh? We do this twice a year. I think it's required by the bylaws. Anyway, we're due for one. It shows the money we made and what we've been spending it on. And now Josh will present that.
Shit like that.
You can sit however you're comfortable.
Soccer girl pose. Just lay down, cross your legs. No.
We good to go?
Yeah.
So just a quick update on the finance status. As of today, at the close of business, our account had $64,082. That's an aggregate. We've got 2 Bank of America accounts and then our PayPal account that we use as a clearing account when we have new membership sales come in. And we've been maintaining that balance really for about the last 6-8 months. It hasn't fluctuated a lot. Year to date, 25, we've had 12,284 in total membership sales. We've had $8,009 in expenses, and I'll give you a breakdown of those expenses in a minute, which gives us a net profit of $4,274. That's plussing up to get us to 64 from where we started at 60K at the beginning of the year. So the expenses is our biggest line item is the flying site maintenance. Out of that 8,000 in expenses, we're at about 5,500 year to date in maintenance expenses for the flying site. Most of that's here. Second to that is our IT and web services, which is for our website, for all the automation and the email activity, and fees for all the transfers between all the accounts on membership sales. And then the last category, there's a small amount of expense to hold the club meetings and for what goes into that. Any questions or anything specific that I can answer?
Thank you.
Yes, there's definitely money available. The club has been talking about different initiatives. We don't want to obviously use it. We want to be good stewards of the funding that we have. In the last couple of meetings, we've talked about some different ideas. Most, I think, of those ideas actually got shot down, which is cool that people are trying to be strong stewards of the money that we have and invest it wisely. So when we have projects that are appropriate and that the membership body wants to move on, we'll move on them. Any other questions?
Remember, sorry if I didn't have context.
That's okay.
Wondering if the swag consideration was being considered for profit.
I don't understand the question. I apologize.
Like making t-shirts and shit.
You sell clubs, you sell it to make money.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're nonprofit as an entity. And what that means is that there's no distribution of profit, but we can generate through sales and memberships, we can generate revenue as long as it's reinvested back into the nonprofit. So yeah, absolutely.
You want a t-shirt, Kay? Is that what you're talking about?
We talked about like t-shirts, jackets, something like people were interested in the last club meeting.
So for the folks online, the question was about, could we do possibly, for a fee, jackets or t-shirts or other things that would be designed, with club logo or whatnot. Any other questions? All right. Well, appreciate it. We'll call that the mid-year review.
Thanks, Josh.
Josh,
Thanks, Josh.
before you, but I'm late. I have one for
Too
you.
late.
And
late.
I don't have a scale for like a 64,000 average holding for the club, or are we like trending up?
We're slightly trending up. Right now, based on the last couple of years, we've thrown a few thousand a year. Year to date, right now, we're at 4,000. Most of the membership, if you look at historically, towards the end of the summer, those last 3 months or the last quarter of the year should be a minimal reinvestment. We're not going to see much past that. So we'll probably end up at 5,000 net profit in 25. That'll plus up. So we'll end up, 65, 66,000 at year end, unless someone comes up with a good initiative that you guys want to move on. But So we're in pretty strong financial shape, I think, if that was the overtone of the question, and slowly growing.
The windsock was great to get done.
Yeah.
Anything, that was it.
Hey, Josh, can you hear me?
Yep.
So just a reminder, and maybe James relay this, just a reminder on most years, we would have a fairly large expenditure in doing work on the road itself, which we did not have to do this year because of the impending logging activity.
Josh Crone was saying that usually we have to grade the road, but this year we didn't. So that saves us a shitload of money this year. So it changes the way our financials look.
Why didn't you have to grade the road?
They told us we didn't have to. Because we cut
Because of the upcoming logging activity.
windstorm, and then they're logging all the trees between North and South Launch next year.
Before we move on, James, we normally start the meeting by introducing new
Yeah.
members. So I know I have a couple students here that haven't been here before.
We're doing new member introductions.
Hi, Nikki.
Because I'm Logan. I haven't joined yet, so I'm just working.
Handsome.
All right.
I've actually joined.
So less in trouble.
though.
You'll fit in fine.
Anybody else?
Chris, I don't think you've introduced yourself.
I haven't met you, Chris. I've probably met most of the people. Yeah, I'm from South Africa, Cape Town, been here a couple of months now. Maybe a few months. Yeah.
Rahul?
What?
Is this your first club meeting?
Yes.
Introduce yourself.
We can stand up.
Hello, guys. My name is Raul, and I come from Venezuela, and I like your beer. It's nice. Thank you. And I'm sober.
Oh.
Watch it.
All right. Is that all for introductions? That's more than usual.
I know. Thank you, Steve.
All right. So hopefully this isn't in the way of the QR code. So I don't know if I have all the nomenclature right on this slide, but the US national team is fundraising to go to the World Championships. It's 4 people. It's Nick Reese and Mike Lester, and then 2 of our local pilots, Alexia, who's right here in front of me,
My hero.
and Violetta. So I have a shortened URL and a QR code here. And I can send these in Telegram, or someone else who's not running the meeting could send them in Telegram as well. You can donate money and it helps them get there and have beer there and something else that's more productive than drinking as well.
Food.
Brazil.
They need sunscreen and air conditioning.
Do you guys have air conditioning in the submarine yet, or?
There's saunas. Just,
It clears the mind.
Put a little
Alright.
ice in your sub.
Oh. Oh, now we have the safety talk. I assume I'm giving this. I assume no one else wants to give this.
Please set up away from launch.
That's the first one. Yes.
It's normal courtesy, and sometimes it seems like, oh, well, nobody's launching, I'll just set up here, but the guy behind you setting up away from launch is in a hurry to launch and you're just dawdling. So set up away from launch. Thank you.
Yeah, do your best to clear your lines. What's up? Oh, oh.
I said we should have waited till they landed to give this talk.
None of this applies to speed flyers. We assume they're gonna do what they're gonna do.
They're a different breed.
Okay, so the second point is, like, if you do lay your shit out on launch, do it with the intention to launch. Like, if you don't like the conditions, don't lay your shit all the way out on launch and stand there for 20 minutes. If you don't like the conditions, you can rosette and step away and give other people a chance to launch if they think that conditions are appropriate for them. The flip side of this coin is that you should be polite. Don't rush people. They're trying to launch a paraglider. It's really good when that goes well, and it can be not very good when it doesn't go well. So give people the benefit of the doubt, assume they're doing their best to get off launch in a reasonable time frame in a safe manner. And then no one has special priority on launch. So there's no kind of hierarchy of who gets to set up or lay out. I think everyone understands that tandems inherently have a different set of operations that they perform, or a slightly different order of operations. So of course, like that is the case there. And then working in with students, I feel like maybe there's someone here who's better qualified to talk about how they think free flyers and students should work in with each other.
Yeah, I mean, we all share the launch. I mean, when our school is launching students, we're not just launching them one after another because we like spacing. So oftentimes our students will be lining up there. There could be like second line sometimes, and oftentimes if I launch a student, I'll go to the free flyers that are there and be like, hey, we're gonna wait a little bit for another student to launch if you don't want to mix in, even if you're at the back of the line of our students. So yeah, we try not to hog the launch. We try to mix it in and give everybody opportunity to get off.
Tandem pilots do appreciate it when we're launching like a couple, if we could launch together sometimes. I think most people are pretty damn good here at being reasonable and helpful.
Yeah, if there's an issue, just come talk to. If there's an issue with the school, come talk to us. If there's an issue with another free flyer, go talk to them. Everyone's friends.
Any launch things anyone wants to say or ask?
3 attempts and please reset and go to the back of the line.
Josh Crone said 3 attempts, and then you rosette and you go to the back of the line.
That might be a little generous depending on the day.
Well, that's a pretty standard rule they have at competitions. If you abort 3 launches, it's common courtesy. They step out of line, and honestly, from a safety standpoint, you should probably step out of line anyways and take a breather and try to think about what's going wrong. Yeah.
Don't fight about launch. It's not worth it.
Also, other places to launch, like I feel like it's a non-issue most of the time if you have climbing skills, you can launch on a slight side hill.
Yeah.
I guess what I'm saying is I would encourage everyone to just continue kiting and practice pulling the ladder up on a side hill.
At the north launch, we can definitely do at least 2 wide on almost all days.
Yeah, Robert and Forslin are saying you could usually launch from somewhere other than perfectly in the middle of lower north launch. All right, LZ. This one, I think, yeah, there's nothing in particular that's like prompting this talk. Let me be clear. This is not a passive aggressive attempt at anything. With that said, at the LZ, when you're in the pattern setting up to land, move predictably when you're in the pattern. Don't like erratically, do your own thing or decide to enter a ground spiral when there's people near you. If you're at the same height as other people or near the same height as other people, leave room for others. So if you're too high and you're about to turn and you've turned on to final, don't S-turn in front of someone else. Leave them like one side of the LZ or something like that. If there's traffic, don't try to kite it out. Bring your wing down so that the person behind you doesn't fly into your wing. And then finally, gather your gear in a rosette and exit the field. And the caveat here is if someone else is on final, don't just like walk in front of them. Pretty basic stuff. Any questions on that?
Quickly exit the field. Don't linger.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're all guilty of loitering a little bit.
Yeah. Loiter on the side of the field.
It's okay to go long. Don't stall your wing to avoid the swamp.
Don't
Please.
stall your wing, but I don't know if that's a courtesy thing.
No, it's just
I don't want to watch
LZ safety.
Yeah. Yeah, it's courteous to not hurt yourself and make people deal with it.
The thing specifically triggering my question or request. Would it be possible to just kind of send maybe a message or refresh everybody's memory on traffic patterns, right of way, those kind of things? I think it will be good thing for everybody.
Like ridge rules? Okay. Yeah, the question is, can we send like a reminder to the Telegram about what the ridge rules are?
I've got some good infographics. I can take photos of and send it to the group.
Yeah, the first rule of ridge rules is like don't have a midair.
Right, Chris.
And the second rule is don't fly into the terrain. And then everything else is less important than that.
I'll send some stuff out.
Austin will send out some resources that are a little bit more detailed. All right. So with that, I think we're going to start talking about like various flying sites in Washington. And I guess if people want to talk about Oregon, that's acceptable too. I don't have slides for this. I can go through things. And then we also have Forslund here who's been flying for longer than you've been alive. So
Everyone here,
But that's not passive aggressive.
no, that's just aggressive.
all those sites have been, the trees are now 100 foot tall and we can no longer fly them, so it's okay.
So I just wanted to set some parameters for this. Some of the places we'll talk about are, I don't need your commentary here.
No.
USHBA sites, and some of them are not. If the site is managed by an USHBA club, their site guide takes priority over what Steve and I and anyone else says here. And then I'm also not going to answer questions about places where it's probably not legal to launch or land a paraglider, like in the wilderness or in like, I don't know, like a Seattle city park or something.
We have a lot of places people fly in the Northwest, and there's a lot of them that we fly down in Oregon that are non-sites, and we don't necessarily list them. People log their flight so you can see where they are, and there's a lot of places we fly that are, if there's no harm, there's no foul. So when you fly those sites, try to keep that in mind. But there's a lot of places to fly, and it's amazing to me that Oregon and Washington pilots don't really travel that way that much. Tiger's only 2.5 hours from Portland if you're not in traffic. And Portland has some good sites, Southern Washington. The coast is actually worth the 5-hour drive when it's working. It's pretty amazing. But Cascade Paragliding Club has a lot of good site guides for Southern Washington and Oregon for people that want to try new places.
I thought it would be best to structure this as a Q&A. I might not always be the best person to give an answer here, but we have a pretty good group of experienced pilots. So anyone have any questions they want to ask? I can always straw man questions if no one asks a question.
All sites.
Yep. Who here's not flown anywhere other than Tiger or Blanchard? Do you guys have any questions about places other than Tiger or Blanchard?
What's the shuttle system in Eastern Washington?
All right. The question was, what is the shuttle system in Eastern Washington? So I have a Telegram doc that I wrote up last night that's really, really crude. But the one thing that I thought I did a decent job of, I'm sure someone will disagree if I ever showed it to anyone, is like listing, I grouped up the sites by where they are and then what Telegram channel you would generally discuss them in. Who the fuck is calling me? It's Raul. All right, so the question specifically, shuttles in Eastern Washington. It's like, yeah, you go into Telegram and say what's up?
You're not presenting.
Yeah. I don't have anything to present yet. You need to make friends and then you shuttle cars around. People are generally like pretty friendly in this sport, or at least like, you know, like you're mutually beneficial if you own a car that fits more than 2 people. So even if they don't like you, they'll probably shuttle a car with you. So like get in the Telegram, say where you want to fly, don't act like a moron.
Don't know anybody. We'll make it free.
Yeah. Does that answer the question for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can give you like a list of Telegram channels to join. That's generally the best way.
Are you talking about Tri-City area?
I like the Tri-Cities area. Yeah. Yeah, so what he was saying is that in the Tri-Cities you can, kind of just show up to the launch and someone will drive you up even if they're not a pilot a lot of the times. Like at Kiona, you can just kind of be in the LZ and someone driving by will drive you up to the top.
James, we had a question on the chat.
All right. You guys are stretching my capacity for using a computer. What does the question say? I'm too stupid to do 2 things at once.
I just saw it pop up.
John posted something about those roads need.
Oh,
I think Daniel posted a question.
all right.
So Daniel asked, what's the typical next area to go fly after Tiger Blanchard? Seems like that progression is pretty logical, common, but I haven't heard anything specific after that. I can answer that one.
Perfect.
So one place that I think is amazing to fly is Chelan. And when we typically think of Chelan, we think of like summer Chelan, super strong thermals, kind of really advanced flying. But in the fall, the flying in Chelan off Chelan Butte is amazing, and the air gets a lot less strong. It's very much more applicable to intermediate pilots. The flying in Chelan in like September can be very pleasant and very nice.
Same with Saddle.
Same with Saddle. So Saddle Mountain. I'll talk about Chelan first. I'll talk about Saddle after. So Chelan's 3 hours away. There's only really 3 local pilots that live there. One being here with us, kind of.
Well, I'm not a local.
Kind of. You're kind of a local now. Quasi local. Anton will show you around. So you do kind of need to show up there with your own logistics. Those local pilots don't fly very often, so they're definitely probably not driving up on that specific day. So go with a bunch of friends, leave a car in the Chelan Falls Park, which is the main landing zone, and then shuttle up. There is a local club out there, the Lake Chelan Flyers. They have a website with a bunch of really good information on how to fly it, when to fly it, what conditions are appropriate. But yeah, if you're a newer pilot, you've flown Tiger Blanchard, it stays drier out east a lot more than it does here in the west side. So it's a great opportunity in October when it's raining here. If it's dry out and not super windy out in Chelan, it's a great weekend trip to go out there and get some flights in. Yeah. We used to run I think it was the Northwest Paragliding Club? We used to run a fly-in out there for Halloween.
Yeah, women's flying.
Women's flying.
It started at Saddle
Which if we
Mountain
had some
originally.
great new energy, might reinstate that someday. I know.
They did a potluck chili dinner at the-
Hot dog chili dinner, yeah.
and the guy packed up the gliders for women.
Yes. That's cool. Ooh.
Wow, way cool.
You even see that?
I arranged this for the meeting.
I
don't think that fits the budget.
Skydiver's gonna be jumping out in about 5 minutes.
Aaron, what are they?
Here they go. Look at.
We're looking at planes in the air. Sorry, guys.
They can listen to them.
The other place that's great to fly, and especially in the winter, is Saddle Mountain. Saddle Mountain is near a little town called Mattawa. It's like, I think also 2.5 hours from here, 3 hours away from here. You just take I-90 east and then cross the Columbia and go south. Saddle Mountain is actually quite often very soarable in the winter with a north wind. It's a giant ridge facing north. So it's a great place to go ridge soar in the winter. It is extremely cold.
Take a driver with you if you can.
And
It's a long turnaround.
definitely take a driver, yeah.
The coast of Oregon works mostly in the fall, winter, and spring.
Mm.
And it seems like 5 hours is ridiculous, but if you get off the freeway in Olympia and you go down through Raymond, it's a very pleasant drive. And when the coast was working in Oregon, it's pretty spectacular. Robert and I did a 1-day trip out there last year. It was worth the 10 hours of driving for me and the 10 hours of napping for Robert.
It's almost a full day of napping for him.
Yeah.
Another one that's, it's a ways away, but Pine Mountain,
about 20 miles east of Bend, Oregon, has like 13 launches on it. And it's just this mountain that sticks up out of the valley. So no matter which way the wind is, it's laminar on one of the launches.
We used to always have a summer flying at Pine that was spectacular. And it's a great place to look at stars and planets and
Has one
I
of the
think
best
there's-
glass offs
I think
too.
there is a fly-in
Yeah.
at the end of this month.
month.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was always a pretty spectacular flying down at Pine Mountain.
Another great place is Woodrat Mountain from Southern Oregon. It's a little bit farther, but they are having, I think their club president posted in our chat
Star
recently,
Thistle.
they're having the Star Thistle fly in, so
Is it 25th?
yeah. That one almost, the glass off's almost too strong. You like need some descent techniques to get down before it's dark.
We're just
Alright.
relax.
I know it's around here somewhere. I don't know exactly where Pine is.
Woodrat Mountain.
The Star Thistle flying has been going on for well over 25 years.
Is this north-south?
Yeah, north. There's Bend.
Just outside of Medford.
Washington's up here.
But it takes me more time to get to Flagler than Woodrat.
I'm confused.
It's no, it's such a long drive. to
oh, he
Flagler.
swims the flag.
And the first time I flew it,
He
the first time
sails.
I flew as far south as you could go.
Woodrat
It's
is
like, okay,
right
well,
here.
It takes no
Alright.
Flagler. Yeah, it takes.
Okay.
Yeah, so for newer pilots, Fort Eby tends to work not in the summer, thermal blocks, but it's so much fun and
What
it's a
the
great
fuck
place
am
to
I looking
practice
at?
top landings and
I'm completely lost.
generous area on top to launch kite. And once it gets cooler, Fort Eby works a lot.
Somewhere around here. 40B is somewhere around here.
Yep.
It's this one.
I think so.
Yep.
Yeah, there it is.
And if you want to go to the drive-in movie, you can park there all night and camp. So you can go fly for a while, go to the drive-in. You have restrooms, you're not paying for parking.
If the forecast is good for EB, it's like really nice if it works. One thing Dave Wheeler once said to me is if you're planning to go flying at EB, bring a bike, a book, and maybe a wing.
But it thermal blocks in the summer when it's hot. So if it's hot, it probably isn't going to work. But
If it's sunny, it's probably not gonna
Smith
work.
Island will show the wind. If it's blowing 16 to 20 at Smith Island, it's 4 dBs. Amazing.
And there's an old video from Ian Frew, who used to be our club president. It's like a video guide to flying at EB. It's good. It's good. I'll share it. I have it in my Google Drive. So I think it's one of those things that maybe disappeared when we changed websites or something. Well, Flagler's not a really good answer to this question, right? Like next steps after flying Tiger and Blanchard.
Yeah, Flagler's it's a great place to kite for newer pilots. It's a little, yeah, it's a little more advanced for newer pilots because it's such a micro site. For newer pilots, don't look at tiny sites and think, oh, this is going to be easy to fly. Micro sites are quite often way harder to fly than a big site where the air has a chance to get laminar and flow up the hill. Micro sites can be real difficult. People get new to flying, they'll say, oh, I found this tiny little 100-foot hill and it's going to be, they can be real difficult because they don't have a chance for the air to get laminar and smooth.
Yeah, this is Fort Flagler. It's across it's like dead south of EB,
It's on
basically
Marrowstone Island.
on Marrowstone Island near Port Townsend. And then north side is like a straight cliff launch. So it's not a great site if you're pretty new.
If the tide is out, the south side is very approachable
Yeah.
and it's a great place to kite.
Yeah, so this is the north side. This is the south side. These are, if you search like Washington State Parks paragliding, these come up, and for both EB and Flagler, you need to fill out a waiver every year. I've never been asked if I have my waiver, but you're supposed to do it.
We should be good stewards and do it.
I always do it. It's not that hard. Just do it.
Just to throw out another option, north of the border in Canada, I was just at that Woodside a couple of weeks ago.
I know
Woodside
vaguely where that
the
is.
East end of the Fraser River Valley, and you get a lot of flow coming up the valley that gives a lot of lift, and you get good thermally.
Oh,
there.
yeah, I think we had problems with the site.
Really
a little bit
friendly site.
NWPC.
It's a P2 learning site, so
I think it's similar.
there will be.
It was
schools
really
that
fun, the
go-
pancake
You
breakfast.
need a Canadian HPAC insurance, which is a Canadian equivalent of USPA, and then you need their local club temporary membership, both of which are quite reasonable.
Scott recommended Woodside, which is in the like Fraser Valley, somewhere around here, what I have on my screen. And yeah, you're supposed to get your Canada rating and join their club to fly there. I haven't flown there. I don't know too much about it. I have one more that I'll add that I thought was a nice site for me when I was fairly new. It doesn't work like a million days like Tiger does, but when the wind is blowing into it, I'm quite fond of flying Keona Ridge in the Tri-Cities, which is right above Benton City specifically. And it's just this long ridge. It faces northeast, so a nice northeast wind. It's all basically grass here. So if you're trying to work on top landings, side hill landings, high for you wind launches, this could be a good place to do things like that.
The other one going further south is Cliffside. So Cliffside for Portland pilots was our staple for winter flying. If the coast wasn't working and it was raining, we go to Cliffside.
And
And it works all winter long, and you work thermals. It's the best first place I had a long cross country flight because there's no trees, there's nothing but grass. You can land anywhere. Great, also a great place to top land. Well worth the drive to Cliffside. Better to go for a weekend with a good forecast and spend a couple days. You can camp out. For Cliffside and the gorge, what you want to look at pressure differentials east to west. If the pressure differential is more than 500ths of an inch, it's going to blow out. So that's the important one you look when going down the cliffside to see what the pressure is east and west. But it's a wonderful winter site. Nice, smooth winter thermals, a great place for your first cross countries. It's well worth the drive. It's what kept Portland pilots sane in the wintertime when the coast wasn't working.
It's really cold.
Yeah,
Really
yeah.
cold.
Yeah, you get rime ice sometimes. It's like, yeah.
And really large fish.
But we used to have our first frostbite flying there. What Andrew Park, it was in February. And he was tired of there only being fly-ins in summer. He goes, why don't we have a fly-in in the winter? But yeah, Cliffside can be wonderful for new pilots, good thermals, wide open, no trees. There's one tree. People used to hit it.
I know it's walk up only at this point, the road's closed, but what about, like Baldy Butte in the fall and the winter?
Oh, yeah.
The question was about Baldy Butte. I'll let someone else answer that. So yeah, one thing about Baldy is that we no longer have drive-up access as the club. I don't know if this is apocryphal, but my understanding of what happened is the previous owner died, and the person who inherited the land wanted more money than we wanted to give them to maintain drive-up access.
The club members weren't flying it enough to warrant the amount of money we were spending on keeping it open. So it's still open to hike. We just can't drive up it.
Of course, Josh's side is similar and
Yeah, Josh Crone's been flying a site above Ellensburg. Is it Manastash?
Anastash Butte.
it's like that sound of God thing down.
Yeah, the only thing
Wah,
I'd say about that site is that you have these valley, like the west wind blows down the pass to the Columbia River, and it blows the site out like a lot of the time. So Manassas is like often not really flyable because it's stupid windy. You want to talk about Eagle Creek?
Yeah, if you're looking to fly in the Leavenworth area, there's like 3 main sites we fly in the Leavenworth area. 2 of them are quite advanced, so I would definitely recommend not using those as a starting point. That's Tumwater Mountain, which is a drive up site, and Icicle Creek, which is a hike up site. Those are definitely more P3, P4 sites, quite challenging launches, very steep, very skinny, forward launching, typically not a lot of wind. But there is a very friendly P2 site just past Leavenworth called Eagle Creek that we fly all the time. Very P2 friendly. It's right here.
You can hit your first thermal 7 meters a second off launch.
Yeah, it can be quite strong in the summer. So if you're going out there as a P2, I would recommend flying in the morning or the evening, getting used to it first before just jumping into midday conditions. But it often is really nice and pleasant in the fall, especially when the east side is drier than the west side. I have flown it in the winter too. It's no longer drive up in the winter because of the snow, but you can hike up, and there's a couple local pilots that live in this drainage that hike up a lot. And so there's typically a nice trail through the snow, so you're not having to post hole the whole way up. Eagle Creek. It's also called Raptor Ridge. And an interesting fact, they actually had a U.S. Nationals there at one point, a long time ago. Yeah.
Back before it was called Eagle, right? They called it
Sorry?
Raptor.
It was the first, CJ says. First U.S.
James,
Nationals.
can we
were
get a
held at
list
the
of
site.
this?
A list of what? I have one that I made in an hour or 2 last night. It's super incomplete. It's like a list of names, basically.
There's a lot of, the site guides have a fair amount of these.
One thing I used to do as a new pilot is go on Paragliding Earth or Paragliding Map.
See
Paragliding
what's
Earth.
where.
Paragliding Map, and it's going to show you some sites, some non-sites, but like based on that and where you're trying to go, then from there you can kind of do some Googling and like find different clubs with different information about different things, or even just find forum posts about different sites and go explore. But as a new pilot, I'd 100% recommend going, if you're going to an established site, don't go alone. You know, try to find a local, try to find a more experienced pilot to show you around. It's going to keep you safe.
Post on flight planning and say,
Yeah,
hey,
post
I
in
want
the
to fly
club
something
group.
new. You know, I get tired of when new pilots post like, where should we go fly this weekend? So maybe put a little initiative in it and look at the weather and say, post on a flight planning thing. Hey, it looks like this might work. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
But I really, a lot of pilots have been around for a while will get real annoyed when new pilots say, where should we fly? And that's all they ever post. So put a little initiative in, look at the weather, put a suggestion out there. You'll probably get a bunch of feedback and other pilots want to go fly with you.
Occasionally Steve runs field trips in the winter.
Yeah, in October, we'll probably do those field trips.
You can suggest Tumwater if it's blowing 30 mile an hour west.
Who the hell's that character?
Yeah, the Maddie had a good point. If you just post something blatantly wrong given the forecast in the Telegram channel, there's a bunch of people who love to correct you. So that's another way to get advice on where to go.
Where not to go.
Any more questions on new sites? I feel like we covered a lot.
If you want really sketchy non-sites, I can give you a long list.
I have those in my document. It's like a list of places that are advanced or stupid to launch.
Maybe don't send that one.
Yeah, maybe I'll remove those before I send it out.
Hey, nobody mentioned Mount Si, which I've never done, but it's
Because the
also,
question was for like newer.
Because Mount
Pilots.
Sinai usually break 1 or 2 lines at least launching.
Yeah, I mean, I fly it occasionally. I flew it a couple days ago.
The question
It
is about
is
Mount
like
Si.
a P4, P5 launch for sure. Yeah, it is quite advanced, requires very, very in tune kiting skills to get off safely.
Bandera would be way better if the forecast was good.
Yeah, if you're looking for a mountain hike and fly, kind of like Mount Si, Bandera Mountain in the Snoqualmie, or in I-90 up on the way to Snoqualmie Pass, way better launch, way better land. Well, same landing. The landing at Mount Si is great, but very much more applicable for newer pilots. Launching Mount Si especially on a big wing, I typically will bring a mini wing, like a lightweight one that launches in very little wind, is easier. It's still hard, but launching a big wing there usually requires at least 2 people on the ground holding your wing up, and you're typically breaking a few lines. So it's definitely advanced. And I have hiked down it quite a bit if the conditions aren't right, so. Huh?
CJ will have some
Yeah.
baked goods for you in the LV.
But yeah, Bandera, very, very awesome entry level, like backcountry hike and fly.
As
off
long as the
I-90.
weather's correct and you don't have a
Totally.
wind.
Yeah,
That's just west of Granite, right?
correct. It's one mountain west of
You
Granite.
land right at the
Granite's
Bandera
also a
Air
really
Strip,
nice.
which is
Granite
spot
has a
to
very
launch.
nice launch, but it does not have a great bailout landing zone beneath it. So Bandera kind of ticks all the boxes. It's a really nice launch. It has a huge landing zone at the airstrip there. The Bandera airstrip. I can put it on the screen
Oh
here.
yeah. Forever
That was my
screen.
first FC from Tiger with Bandera LV.
So this is the landing zone for Bandera. It's a giant airstrip that people land planes on. So
It's fucking massive.
Nice.
and
And it's a beautiful hike too. It's just
the launch for Bandera is right here, right off the trail.
Yeah.
Super grassy, really nice. If you go up in the winter and there's snow, be very careful. It is decently steep. So if the snow conditions aren't soft, there is a chance of slipping while you're launching and starting to slide. So like I've gone up there in the winter and had micro spikes. I felt a lot safer, like micro traction things that go on.
It's super high. Whole range.
100%. Yeah, yeah. Be very careful in the winter hiking up there. It's
So that's Granite on the right?
Granite is over here. This is Granite here.
Yep.
And then Bandera is one to the east. This whole thing is Bandera, but the trail comes up and makes the ridge here. So I guess technically it's Little Bandera, but we launch typically right here on this grassy slope, right next to the trail.
if you haven't hiked Bandera before and hiking up and then over back to the little lake behind, it's a gorgeous hike.
Isn't that technically just inside the Alpine Lakes Wilderness?
Yeah.
I think it's technically,
Yes.
I think it's, no, I think it's,
It
I think
is.
the ridge line is the
Okay,
dividing
yeah.
barrier.
It's not. No, it's in the wilderness.
Okay, well, if you don't want to break the law, don't fly there.
So don't launch it.
No, don't launch.
No one no one
You-
flies
but
there.
Feel free to fly there. Just don't launch.
Yeah, don't launch there.
You're allowed to fly over, just don't launch there.
Turn on your tracker after you launch.
Cool.
Bill was today.
Thought you were.
I'm just wondering if someone next to What's that? I know.
All right, what's next on the agenda?
This is the only thing on the agenda.
Oh, okay. Any more questions on site? Should we check if anyone made a comment?
Yeah, so
I've been taking notes. They're janky, but can copy and paste after.
we've had one question. Does anyone have any other questions about sites?
Oh, I got a question. This is, I don't know if this has come up in a while, but what happened to McDonald? What was it? Do you guys remember the last time that came up?
Well, I hiked up McDonald's.
What's that? I've never flown it, but I remember we were trying to get a launch there. Easement across the road in there.
I know a little bit about this. I've already asked you guys about this. Yeah, so the guy who owns the easement to go up the road is not super friendly. He owns the land that the road starts up. He's not super friendly. The DNR bought the land and the easement from, I always say this wrong. Don't make fun of me. Don't laugh at me. Weyerhaeuser. Come on. And the easement does not allow recreational access. So I asked the DNR this question as an individual who wanted to go like ride my bike up the road, which is something I would actually do. And they said, no, like you can't just like recreate up the road because the guy who owns the bottom of the road, like he doesn't have to let you do that. The other side of McDonald's has like a trailhead that's like a hiking trailhead. And in reality, it's a bunch of unsanctioned mountain bike trails. And I hiked up like halfway to this radio tower that Wheeler told me he used to launch at. And the trees are like fucking like 20 feet over the road. And I sent Wheeler a bunch of photos. I was like, where did you launch? And he's like, I guess I guess time has passed since I did that. There's some clear cut. If you hiked all the way up to like the top of McDonald, where I'm not totally sure how accurate the information Wheeler gave me was. I don't know. Did you guys ever actually fly off McDonald? Yeah.
Launch sites last about 15 years in the
Yeah,
Northwest.
they recut it in 2017 up top, but it has a little bit more of like a southerly aspect. And so to come around west and get out to the houses that have all the fields, including the guy with the plane hangar, it's more of like a 5.5 to 1. The places to land on a 4 to 1 are in the Green River watershed owned by the city of Tacoma. So you'd probably have to answer like a lot of questions if you had landed there. So without cutting trees on kind of the west aspect of McDonald and getting permission to drive up that section at the bottom of the road, it doesn't look like a great opportunity. I thought that Enumclaw Mountain, which is owned by the Muckleshoot Indian tribe, looked like a better opportunity in that area. That's the next mountain to the south. It's on like the Boise Ridge, Enumclaw area. And they clear cut the summit of Enumclaw Mountain and they didn't replant it. And that has a 4 to 1 glide to like this big field that is, as far as I can tell, is not used for anything other than taking like engagement photos. So if we had a way to make the tribe amenable to letting us drive up there or even hiking up there, it's a long hike, so it's not a great option. I think that's the better possibility for flying paragliders in that area or launching paragliders in that area. You can fly there. It's a nice flight.
Has anybody flown Blyn, B-L-Y-N? You flown that, George? Blyn, B-L-Y-N? At the casino, yeah. Have you flown it there? Once. Yeah, we got a new student who lives in Squim, so he was asking about flying sites, and I looked that up, and I think I found the takeoff on the road there.
I mean, if you don't make it, then you're stuck in a landing in a travel.
Okay.
That's not the worst.
Okay. All right.
What do you want?
Vitamin R?
Yeah.
I don't know. Is anyone flying Rampart in the last 3 years?
Yeah.
Last year when you took me.
Did we go last year?
When I was a pretty new pilot, I asked about flying Rampart, and Derek Baylor scared me out of it. It's pretty cool. The LZ is like interesting because there's like 4 or 5 valleys that all funnel like valley flows into it. It's like the west flow comes up around the ski area, but then it also spills over the side of Mount Catherine. And then I don't know if this is true. Cody said it likes to blow down Gold Creek. But anyway, the wind direction changes and it blows really hard down there in Keechless Lake. So it could be like pretty nasty if you're not good at like keeping your wing open. Then some people like to like land on the road because they parked their car over there. I know a guy who took a 90% collapse landing on the road there and landed just like flat on his back on the road.
It wasn't me with the 90%. I like to land on the road. There's a lot of like negative stuff that people say about Rampart, but it's one of the most beautiful places you'll ever get to fly.
It's fucking incredible.
1, 2 thermals and you're above the Alpine Lakes region and it's absolutely fucking gorgeous.
And quite often the end of summer, beginning of fall.
Yeah, so this is the time of the year when it gets good there. Yeah. So if you get the opportunity,
We know the road is open because the tank piles have been up there this year.
Pretty regular.
yeah.
Yeah, the road is like not as bad as people said. I don't know. I was driving up there one time in my Subaru and everyone's like, oh, you're gonna have to like stop and like park and walk the rest of the way up at some point. And then we were like at launch and I was like, oh, like what part? I don't know. It's not that bad. I don't think it's that bad. Yeah. I've only driven up there, like driven myself up there once. So also the person who drove my car down fucked my paint up. So I guess not everyone thinks it's that easy.
The only things you got to consider with Rampart is it's almost always cross on launch and it's a cliff launch. So you got to go up there with your A game and commit to a crosswind launch.
But there's lots of room, lots of room.
There's lots of room. It's fine. It's fine. You just got to bring it up crooked. Make sure it's pressurized before you jump off the cliff.
Yeah. And there is a story from long ago where someone got blown off. They were landing on the road and the gust blew them off from the road and there's a swamp right next to it. And they ended up in the swamp and other paragliders jumped in and using empty 1 gallon containers had to rescue it because the swamp is like 6 feet deep.
Yeah, you can land over on the
Not
lake.
Brian.
We're not supposed to walk
Yeah.
under the underpass.
If you fly there, yeah.
But if you land over where the hang gliders land, it's
They've stopped that now. They don't let that. The boat ram's closed.
well, but they
It's
roll
full.
them out. They've been using they've been
Yeah.
using little kayak
Yep.
things and electric bikes to bring their hangs out.
All right, cool.
I think the gate was open a
You
couple
can't
weeks ago.
stop
I
a
think my
hang glider like
girlfriend camped like on the lake.
Okay.
But yeah, usually it's closed.
Hey, James.
Moral of the story is we are so blessed to have so many amazing, diverse flying sites in this state. And so Tiger's nice and convenient. It's awesome, but there's so much to explore. And I've been flying here over 20 years and I still haven't flown all the sites.
It's worth
There's a
the
lot.
time, quite often.
Yeah.
I check other forums, check other clubs, check other. Exactly.
There's even flying in the Tri-Cities.
I'm quite fond of the Tri-Cities. This is Rampart, and then this is where people land. Rampart is, I believe it's this one.
Yeah.
And then this is where generally people land.
Which isn't available if it's early summer. And you gotta wait until, what would you say, July? Until the lake bed exposes itself? It depends on the snowpack.
Why is there Labor Day? So you had to wait until that late.
Right.
Well, some people, I don't know totally what their whole plan and shit was, and their appetite for landing in funny spots and all of that. But yeah, there'll be water in it in the spring. It won't be much of an LZ.
Hey, James.
Yep.
Has anyone there flown out in Yakima?
Has anyone flown in Yakima?
Well,
One thing
holy-
is that there's a D-class airspace when the sun is up that covers like most of the things that are quite close to Yakima. For the Yakima airport. So
What
most of the little
what
hills
about Mount Clemens, which is more like Natchez, I guess I'm thinking. Like it's like northwest of Natchez. And I'm pretty sure it's drivable.
Can you repeat that?
Josh Eltz grew up there. That was him talking, and he said there's something to the northwest of Natchez that he thinks is launchable
Off of 12, right?
off of Highway 12, Josh.
Yeah, it's basically before you get to the Y, heading to Chinook Pass and White Pass.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of like places that are probably launchable,
Scouting all that out lately, looking for.
we have a whole folder of shit like this in the club's Google Drive. And that's like a whole separate thing we could do. But if you have ideas and you think you need help from the club to realize flying there, like I'm happy to help with that. The other thing I would say about flying in this part of the state is the TC Free Fly. They're not a club. They are a Telegram chat and like a community. Those guys have been flying off a bunch of random shit over around the Tri-Cities, Prosser, Yakima area recently. And so I'd reach out to like Daniel F or Hiram. They've been the two who have been flying off of things that are I don't want to say that they're the first people to fly off it, because like who knows? But they've been, yeah, pioneering new to me sites or new to them sites. So I would reach out to them in that Telegram chat, probably about these kind of ideas. Is that somewhere on the Columbia River? I have no idea what that is. CJ asked about Rock Island. I don't know. Some people launch off those cliffs above the Columbia River Gorge. Well, I know one guy who does. I don't know anyone else who does it. Like the basalt columns.
More than once.
No. All right. If there's nothing else we want to discuss, I think we could be done for the evening.
Sweet.
There's one more thing, Aaron says.
So I was asked, I'm sure a lot of the club already knows, but Heather asked me to let everybody know that our very own CJ was honored by the Issaquah Film Festival with a Lifetime Achievement Award.
Well, nice.
How many years of free flying?
See, 82, hang gliding, 91.
Very nice.
43 years.
Wow, that's awesome. Wow.
All right.
Well, we'll try to match it.
Oh, that's real.
Try to match it.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Hey.
Have a nice night.
Aaron, did you ID those planes?